All right, lovely singing. Would you raise your hand and wave if you are in the choir and recorded yourself to sing on that? So everybody, you'll see several people in the choir here. You would have heard their voices on that recording. So thank you, everybody. Now we can, if you wish, you can stay with your dim lighting, or if you wish, you're welcome to brighten up again. Now we will go to our bell choir. So many of you know that we have a set of handbells at St. Bart's, and we now, in the pandemic, because we're not allowed to sing together in the same room, however, we are allowed to play bells together. So we thought, well, let's have a bell choir. And so the first piece that the bell choir is going to play, it's called A Christmas Lullaby, and it's actually a inside there's two Christmas carols, Still, 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 it's a German carol, and Away in a Manger. So here is our bell choir. All right, very nice bell choir. If you were in our bell choir, either we actually have two different groups of bell ringers, but if you're in either group, would you raise your hand? All right, wonderful. Well, we'll hear we'll hear from more bell ringers a little bit later. Next, we have another sing-along carol. So for our Christmas pageant, some of our children and youth recorded some carols, and so I've taken 3 of them and put them together. Our next carol is "It Came, O Little Three Kings." Not really, it's just, "It came upon a midnight clear, then our little town of Bethlehem, then we 3 kings." So I hope you enjoy singing along and listening to our young voices here. So the youngest singer you just heard there, I think he's 6 years old right now. We'll be looking forward to recruiting him into the choir in a few years. All right, next we have Stephanie Linsgould reading "The Night Before Christmas." This is a very, very traditional reading, so I hope you enjoy.
"'Twas the year 2020, and all through the house every creature was stirring, from human to mouse. The stockings were tossed on the chimney. Who cares? We've been shut in for months. Would St. Nick even dare? The children were nestled all snug in their beds, as visions of rubber gloves danced in their heads. and Mama in her gaiter and me in my mask had just settled our brains for a long cleaning task. When out on the roof there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my mop to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash. I peeked through the shutter, barely touching the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave me faith that someday we'd have somewhere to go. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 spotless reindeer. With a little old driver decked out in full gear, I knew in a moment we'd have Christmas this year. More safely than hazmat, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Clorox, now Pine Sol, now Lysol and Purex, on Comet, on Purell, on Top Job and Germex. Wipe the top of the porch, wipe the top of the wall, now wipe away, wipe away, wipe away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they finished and then took a jump to the sky, so up to the housetop the reindeer they flew, with a sleigh full of masks, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the pawing of each little rubber-gloved hoof. As I pulled up my mask and was turning around, down the chimney a big bucket came with a bound. It was covered in plastic from bottom to top, and the contents were sterile, despite the long drop. I missed seeing his eyes and his dimples so merry, but COVID prevents that, and these times are so scary. I imagined his face and his round little belly that shook when he laughed like hand sanitizer jelly. So without a word, I went right to my work. I filled all our stockings and then turned with a jerk, for I saw him outside as he stood near his sleigh, and I laughed when I saw him from 6 feet away. With a wink of his eye and a wave of his hands, I felt warm inside. Santa, too, understands. And laying a finger aside of his mask, the reindeer rose up. They'd finished their task. He waved to me then, to his team gave a shout, and socially distancing, quickly flew out. But I heard him proclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all. We will all be all right."
Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie, would you tell us the origin of our 2020 text?
The 2020 text, I think Lisa Patrick is going to have to fill us in because she gave it to me. I tweaked it a little bit so it would scan better and make logical sense.
Okay.
So Lisa, on to you.
Lisa,
I found it on Facebook, posted by the daughter of a friend in Connecticut.
Wonderful.
November.
Good. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, next up, we have Green Sleeves. It's an old English folk song. Many of you know it as What Child Is This? And it's played on the violin by Nathan Sir-Sitzma. All right, very nice, Nathan. Thank you. Good. I'll tell you a funny little story. So Nathan has a cousin named Jordan who's a choir director in Canada that I know. And it's just, what a small world. So last time I saw Nathan, he says, Jordan says hi. So I thought, oh, that's nice. We did a really wonderful, very intense week a few years ago with one of the big choirs in Toronto. They had a teaching week for young conductors, and Jordan and I did that together. It was fun. Okay, next we have another sing-along. We have "O Come All Ye Faithful." Now, our choir recorded this, and we're going to listen to, we're going to sing along with the first verse, and then two verses that have the big important descants for musical interest. And if you were there on Christmas Eve at the 7:30 service, this is when we had some technical difficulties. So we got to hear maybe the first verse or two, and then we didn't quite get to hear the descant at the end. So now we will get to sing along with these wonderful descants. All right, wonderful singing. Now, if you're in the choir and you're a soprano, would you raise your hand? These are the people that you heard doing those crazy high notes. So thank you, sopranos. Wonderful. All right, next we have another piece from our bell choir. It's He is Born. It's a French carol. It's actually Il est né le divin enfant. So he is born, the divine Christ child. And you'll notice we have two different groups of bell people. So I think this is our other personnel of bells. Here we go. Thank you, bell ringers. All right, everybody, now it is time to get some exercise. So we're going to sit tall in our chair and we're going to be prepared to move. Paula and Sarah and Adrian are going to lead us in a setting of 12 Days of Christmas where there's some movement. So at the beginning of the video, Paula's going to explain a little bit about what we're doing, and then we are going to follow along with the music in our chairs. So here is...
Actually, everybody
okay.
really should stand up.
Oh, yes. Stand up. That's a good idea.
Hi, Phil.
All right. Here we go, everybody.
Hi, folks. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're about to share with you something that the Curl family has done for decades on Christmas Day. It was always Duncan Curl's favorite. He was the one who asked every year, so we had to do it.
And since we don't have the whole Curl clan here with us tonight, John Denver and the Muppets are going to help us out.
Now, this is definitely an audience participation piece. So, take a big drink of whatever you've got there, put it down, Scoot your chair back. Make sure you have room to do this, okay? You'll catch on as it goes. Sarah will always give you the hand motions first, so watch Sarah. And that's it. That's it.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the eighth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the ninth day of Christmas, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 10th day of Christmas,
My true love gave to me 10 more to leaping.
9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping,
And more to leaping.
9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping,
And more to leaping.
9 ladies dancing,
8 maids a milking,
7 swans a swimming,
6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings,
Bum, bum, bum. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Barvo!
Oh, thank you. That was so much fun. Wonderful, everybody. And it was fun to watch you all do that too.
Especially Adrian. Like, yeah,
Yes. It's good. Aw. Whew. Well, thank you for that. All right, next we have a wonderful, wonderful, funny Christmas song. We have sung by our choral scholar Lane Hunter. We have I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Just a moment. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. Isn't my Christmas tree nice? The lights change color. I'm gonna sing I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. Don't want a doll, no dinky tinker toy. I want a hippopotamus to play with and enjoy. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I don't think Santa Claus will mind, do you? He won't have to use a dirty chimney flue. Just bring him through the front door, that's the easy thing to do. I can see me now on Christmas morning, creeping down the stairs. Oh, what joy and what surprise when I open up my eyes and see my hippo hero standing there. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. No crocodile, no rhinoceroses. I only like hippopotamuses, and hippopotamuses like me too. Mom says a hippo would eat me up, but then teacher says a hippo is a vegetarian. There's lots of room for him in our 2-car garage. I'd feed him there and wash him there and give him his massage. I can see me now on Christmas morning, creeping down the stair. Oh, what joy and what surprise when I open up my eyes and see my hippo hero standing there. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. No crocodile or rhinoceroses. I only like hippopotamuses, and hippopotamuses like me too. That was fun.
Yeah, good job, Lane. All right. Wonderful. All right, next, I think we have our youngest performer of the evening. We have Alicia playing on the harp. This is a contemporary Christian song, probably familiar to some of you, called Mary, Did You Know? Is Alicia here to take a bow? I see her parents, Malia and Alex, are here, but I don't know if, actually I saw you a minute ago. Where'd they go? Oh. Anyhow, wonderful job, Alicia. Now, our last song before our intermission, well, actually, it's a group of songs. Oh, actually, here's Alicia. Let me see if I can pin her. Does that make it? No, that didn't. I don't know how to spotlight her right now, but I don't have a spotlight button. Anyway, you can see Alicia there. Wonderful playing, Alicia. Oh, maybe on this other, I've got two computers logged in. Maybe on my other computer I've got, I don't know. Anyway. All right, thank you, Alicia. So now I have some carol parodies, one of which I'm just going to sing for you right now. Anselm's here with me. He's going to sing it with me. It is a version of We Three Kings. And we're just going to sing the first verse here. Let me put it on the screen and you all can sing along with us. So. Ready? And we three kings are 6 feet apart. We'll Purell before we depart. We've been tested as suggested. Careful are we and smart. Oh, do our masks go with our gowns? Do these face shields hide our crowns? We've had plenty, 2020, still we head toward David's town. All right, so thank you, Lisa Patrick, for finding that one. That's great. And now I have some more parody carols that I actually found. A friend of mine on Facebook had posted these, and we have Anselm and Linda and Stephanie are singing these. So let me just open up this video and I will share it. Okay.
Christmas on Zoom, staying safe for the season till life can resume like when we could gather for fun and not see each friend as a plague-loaded gun. Stay home this Christmas and we'll all stay well. This is a deal changer, though it's Christmas instead. There's a virus, good reason to stay home in bed. No visits, no parties, no festivity. Or it's COVID-19 you could find with your tree. We're living through a pandemic. It's all the world
All right, everybody, it is officially our intermission time. Let's resume our show. After the intermission, we have Angels We Have Heard on High. And first, we're going to listen to it played by the bell choir, and then it's going to transition into us singing it. So here is Angels We Have Heard on High. All right, sorry everybody. Let me start sharing that one again without the sound feedback. lovely singing and playing, everybody. And I'd also like to point out some of the pictures that you saw there of the Christmas trees from different years. So Lisa Patrick had sent me some of those, and also Mary Kimberly, that I think, and maybe some other, I think Susan, Susan Boyer has sent me some pictures as well. So I can't remember who sent what, but there's been some just lovely pictures, and I was really impressed to see that each Christmas seemed to have a different color theme. Like one was sort of more yellow and gold, and one was more reds, and one was more silvers, and I don't know. I just thought, oh, that's what a nice way to do that. So, and what a nice way to see them all together in this kind of video montage now. So anyway, beautiful, beautiful Christmas decorations. All right, now we have a musical gem here, and this will be especially meaningful to those of you who came to the Sacred Harp singing workshop recently, or if you happen to know about Sacred Harp singing. It's a type of singing mainly from Appalachia, and anyway, for those of you who don't know, we recently had a workshop led by Sarah Ward, who used to be a church member here, and she told us all about Sacred Harp. And as many of you in the choir know, you can take hymns and then you can put other words into them. So I'll just say the carols have done a wonderful job at taking some Christmassy words and putting them into a Sacred Harp hymn tune. So I hope you all enjoy this.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows, even say it glows, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Reindeer games. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. And then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, "Oh, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Oh, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, "Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down. In history go down. In history. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down. In history. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down. In history go down. In history. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down. In history.
Very nice job, Elizabeth and Richard, and Anne is here as well. Their daughter Anne. Anne, I haven't met you, but I'm happy to hear you. Wonderful singing. Now I have to ask you all, whose idea was that? I love it. It's the kind of thing an organist would think to do.
Well, we stole it.
Okay.
We have a Christmas Rebels CD, probably Cambridge.
Okay.
That it just had this on it, and suddenly it just became possible to do it among ourselves.
Among ourselves.
Right. Well, I love it. It was really cute.
It was a lot of fun.
Good. Well, thank you all for that. All right, next up, let's see. Oh, now we have the 12 Days of COVID. So a familiar song, but with words you have never heard before, a very 2020 edition. Thank you to Linda Earhart for coming up with these words and singing, and also Anson is singing, and Stephanie Linskold is singing as well. And then Linda sent me all the images to make the video, and then I put it together. So this was sort of a nice little team effort, and I hope you'll be able to sing along, even though the words are unfamiliar. There will always be things on the screen helping you sing the song. So here is the 12 Days of Christmas, the COVID edition.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 take-out dinners and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 feet of space, 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 7 contact tracers, 6 feet of space, 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 8 filtered masks, 7 contact tracers, 6 feet of space, 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 9 bars of soap, 8 filtered masks, 7 contact tracers, 6 feet of space, 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. 12 Zoom meetings, 11 FaceTime calls, 10 swabs for swabbing, 9 bars of soap, 8 filtered masks, 7 contact tracers, 6 feet of space, 5 sanitizers, 4 boxes of tissues, 3 disinfectants, 2 take-out dinners, and a Pfizer-approved vaccine.
Yay. All right, thank you, Linda, for those words. And thanks, everyone, for continuing the movements. I wouldn't have thought to put them together, but they worked perfectly. That's great. Wonderful. All right, now we have our other choral scholars, Morgan and Chris, and they are going to be singing It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you'll be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow.
There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing and loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time.
Yes, the most wonderful time.
Oh, the
Most wonderful time of the year.
Thank you, Morgan and Chris. Fun song. All right, next we have God Rest Ye Joy. It's another 2 carols in a row. It's God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and Joy to the World. The God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen is sung by our teenage boys, and then Joy to the World is sung by our adults. And the words will be words and music on the screen, so please sing along.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we had gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Fear not then, said the angel, let nothing you affright. This day is born a Savior of a pure Virgin bright, to free all those who trust in him from Satan's power and might. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare in room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let hearts of songs employ. What fields and floods, what fields and plains. Repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. No more the sins and sorrows grow, no thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow. For as the curse is gone, for us the curse is gone. He rules the world with truth and grace, and nations through the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
All right, everyone, thank you for your singing there. All right, next we have a, well, we have another a parody. It's not so much about COVID, but it's a parody song, music, and wonderful pictures of St. Bart's, and wonderful video editing, I might add. This, sung by Stephanie Linsgold, is Carol of the Handbells.
Hark how the bells so sweetly chime. Know that I played at the right time. Where is my note? What is the key? Who has my bell? Hand it to me. Is this a beat? What measure now? On the wrong staff. Oh, holy cow. I've got it now. Ringing just fine. Don't play right there. That note is mine. Oops, I forgot. Dropped the wrong bell. Got to count hard. Oh, what the hell? If I just get to measure 35, I will be okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and darn, I missed it. 1 and 2 and 3 and darn, I missed it. On they went. When will it end? so sweetly chime, though they're not played at the right time. Where is my note? What is the key? Who has my bell? Hand it to me. Is this the beat? What measure now? On the wrong staff. Oh, holy cow, I've got it now, ringing just fine. Don't play right there, that note is mine. Whoops, I forgot, dropped the wrong bell. Got to count hard, oh, what the hell. If I just get to measure 35, I will be okay. 1 and 2 and 3, darn I missed it. 1 and 2 and 3, darn I missed it. On they sound, sweetly they chime, though they don't play at the right time. Ding dong, ding dong.
Wonderful job. I love all those pictures. They're great. They're really funny. All right. All right. Next is a song from the Nutcracker, the ballet by Tchaikovsky. It is the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, played by myself. So I hope you enjoy. I was going through some of my sheet music recently and I found this in one of my books and I thought, oh, this will be a fun little piece to play. So enjoy. Oh, thank you all. Thank you. All right, now we have another wonderful parody carol. This is by April and John Witt. It is called "Don't Come, All Ye Faithful."
Don't come
I really love some of those words. Wonderful job, John and April. I don't think they're here tonight, but I think that was a really, really good one. Don't come, but still adore him. I love it. All right, everybody. We are just one more piece. We have our finale, but before we get to the finale, I would like to just take a moment to thank everybody who has sent us a performance tonight, or who's been sung on one of the tracks, or who sent me pictures or any kind of thing, and everybody who's been here tonight. And I'd also like to thank Angela, our priest, who's here tonight. Angela actually gave me this idea for the Christmas concert after Christmas. I'd never done that before, but I love it. I love the timing of it because, you know, usually in December you're so busy getting all the Christmas services ready, but you know, now we've had a little bit of time to get ready to do a concert. I think it works really well on Zoom too. So thank you, Angela.
No, well, thank you, Stephen. You did a great job of putting everything together. Much thanks to all the participants. The timing is perfect, and it's just been a marvelous joy for us to gather this way and have one last hurrah for Christmastide. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, now everyone, our finale tonight, it is a wonderful narrated story. It reminds me a lot of the things that I used to listen to as a child when I would, I think I had like a cassette tape that had narrated stories with all these sound effects in them. It's perfect. It's called All in the Morning Early, and it is performed very well by Jeff and Susan Boyer. So everybody enjoy.
During the 12 days of Christmas, the Scots, like almost everybody else, celebrate the New Year. And in Scotland, that is known as Hogmanay. Now, one of the traditional features of Hogmanay celebrations is the welcoming of a particular guest into your home, a guest who is known as the first footer. But this guest doesn't come empty-handed. He or she comes bearing gifts, gifts for the household, gifts such as coins for prosperity, some baked goods for food, some symbol of light and heat, and of course, whiskey for good cheer. So this evening, we beg you to welcome us into your home as first footers with the traditional gifts for prosperity, food, warmth, and good cheer in the new year. And complementing those good gifts, as is also part of the custom, we bring you also a bit of light-hearted entertainment and fun. So in the spirit of that well-known holiday song, The 12 Days of Christmas, we present to you a Scottish children's story entitled All in the Morning Early. There was a lad in Perthshire, and his name was Sandy. And his mother called him early one morning from his bed.
"Rise up, Sandy, and take the sack of corn to the mill, for the miller to grind it into meal."
So Sandy rose up from his bed, took the sack of corn, put it upon his shoulder, and off he started for the mill. Over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The first he met in the early morn was a huntsman winding his horn. "Where are you off to, Sandy?" asked the huntsman. "I'm off to the mill," said Sandy. "I'll be going the way you're going, Sandy," said the huntsman. So off they started together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were two old ewes by the shepherd shorn. Where are you off to, Sandy? Asked the two old ewes. I'm off to the mill, said Sandy. Well, we'll be going the way you're going, Sandy, said the two old ewes. So off they went together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, two old ewes by the shepherd shorn, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were three gypsies laying a snare. Where are you off to, Sandy? Said the gypsies. I'm off to the mill, said Sandy. We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy, said the gypsies. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, two old ewes by the shepherd shorn, three gypsies laying a snare, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were four farmers off to the fair. Where are you off to, Sandy? Asked the farmers. I'm off to the mill, said Sandy. We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy, said the farmers. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, two old ewes by the shepherd shorn, three gypsies laying a snare, four farmers off to the fair, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were five wee lads playing together. Where are you off to, Sandy? Asked the wee lads. I'm off to the mill, said Sandy. We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy, said the wee lads. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, two old ewes by the shepherd shorn, three gypsies laying a snare, four farmers off to the fair, five wee lads playing together, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were six hares hurtling through the heather. Where are you off to, Sandy? Asked the hares. I'm off to the mill, said Sandy. We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy, said the hares. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, one huntsman winding his horn, two old ewes by the shepherd shorn, three gypsies laying a snare, four farmers off to the fair, five wee lads playing together, six hares hurtling through the heather, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack. All in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were 7 fat Michaelmas geese. "Where are you off to, Sandy?" asked the geese. "I'm off to the mill," said Sandy. "We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy," said the geese. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, 1 huntsman winding his horn, 2 old ewes by the shepherd shorn, 3 gypsies laying a snare, 4 farmers off to the fair, 5 wee lads playing together, 6 hares hirpling through the heather, 7 fat Michaelmas geese, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack, all in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were 8 brown Bernie bees. "Where are you off to, Sandy?" asked the Bernie bees. "I'm off to the mill," said Sandy. "We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy," said the Bernie bees. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, 1 huntsman winding his horn, 2 old ewes by the shepherd shorn, 3 gypsies laying a snare, 4 farmers off to the fair, 5 wee lads playing together, 6 hares hirpling through the heather, 7 fat Michaelmas geese, 8 brown Bernie bees, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack, all in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were 9 larks lilting away. "Where are you off to, Sandy?" said the larks. "I'm off to the mill," said Sandy. "We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy," said the lark. So they started off together. Sandy with his sack of corn, 1 huntsman winding his horn, 2 old ewes by the shepherd shorn, 3 gypsies laying a snare, 4 farmers off to the fair, 5 wee lads playing together, 6 hares hirpling through the heather, 7 fat Michaelmas geese, 8 brown Bernie bees, 9 larks lilting away, over the burn and over the hill and down the road that leads to the mill, where the old mill wheel is never still. Clickety, 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 clack, all in the morning early. The next they met in the early morn were 10 bonny lassies with ribbons gay. "Where are you off to, Sandy?" asked the lassies. "I'm off to the mill," said Sandy. "We'll be going the way you're going, Sandy," said the lassies. So off they started together. Sandy with his sack of corn, 1 huntsman winding his horn, 2 old ewes by the shepherd shorn, 3 gypsies laying a snare, 4 farmers off to the fair, 5 wee lads playing together, 6 hares hirpling through the heather, 7 fat Michaelmas geese, 8 brown Bernie bees, 9 larks lilting away, 10 bonny lassies with ribbons gay, over the burn and over the hill and down the road, and there was the mill. and the old mill wheel that was never still. Clickety, 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 clack. "This is as far as I go," said Sandy. So they stopped and bid each other goodbye, and the rest of the company went on their way. But Sandy went into the mill and gave the miller his sack of corn, and the miller ground it into meal, all in the morning early.